Brackets, bubbles, and bid stealers. This is March. We've made it. We'll not talk about what happened last night.
I was gonna say somebody decided to sleep in May or sleep before May, I guess.
Yeah. I don't even. I'm gonna be legitimately honest here. I have no idea what happened. It was 11:33.
Because I saw you woke up and tweeted like when March started, right?
Well, that was a scheduled tweet.
Oh, okay. I was a
scheduled-
little worried. I was texting you. I'm like, what's going on?
I scheduled that a few hours in advance.
Well, thank God you did. Otherwise,
It would have been an issue if I didn't send the link.
You would have had Jeff Goodman tweeting about March before you.
No, because I scheduled the tweet.
Well, I'm saying if you didn't schedule the tweet.
Yeah.
Oh, Mizzou needs to get out of here with a win.
Now, oh my God, I cannot. What's the score there? I haven't been able to watch that.
It is 61-59 LSU. Mizzou with the steal. Hodge layup 61-all.
You got a big drive tomorrow, don't you?
No, I'm actually not going till Friday.
Boo!
No, there's someone not named me has to go to class, I think.
So you don't get to watch Courvoisier and McCauley tomorrow?
I'll see them Friday. I'm fairly certain they're beating Evansville. So
yeah, I mean I would be as well. But we are one day away from Arch Madness. Let's talk just about some of the games that happened today. Is UConn a national championship contender?
Yeah, and I think you and I, like outside of their bad stretch of the year, like you and I have agreed on them. They're a top 6-7 team in the country at worst. They're a top 1 team in the country at best, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Yeah, I mean, I would be pretty confident picking Houston to beat them. But outside of that, I don't think there's a team that I would say with like even 65% certainty that UConn would lose to.
Yeah. Like obviously draws is dependent here, but this is a
really good basketball team.
This is a basketball team that when they're playing at their best, they're more talented than most. They're well coached. People will say what they want about Danny Hurley, and I know we haven't seen the results in the postseason yet, but he's going to get.
We saw it with Rhode Island. He was a good coach at Rhode Island.
Yeah, this is not Rick Barnes, guys. So we're going to see results with him eventually. When that, oh my God, LSU is making. Okay, thank God they call it travel.
Yeah, New Mexico State. That game was very lucky. Maryland couldn't make a shot.
Maryland had some guys that year.
They did, but we also couldn't make a shot.
UConn was also very one-player dependent.
Yeah, kind of. Auburn and Alabama. Oh no, Bruce Pearl, what happened?
So I don't think I have ever in this entire season of college basketball, I don't think I was ever sure that someone was going to miss a shot more than Wendell Green taking that last shot tonight.
Yeah, that was like I think I was less confident in that shot than the Jalen Adams shot.
I think
it was like a floater.
I think that tweet that you sent me summed it up pretty perfectly. Like, they're just not a well-coached basketball team, no matter how people try to spin it. Bruce Pearl and David, you know my thoughts on him, and I'm sure you agree with me for the most part. But
I mean, like, I don't think he's as bad as you do.
Yeah,
but the guy's not.
Nobody thinks he's as bad as I do.
But the guy's not one of the best coaches in the country, and he's not really close to that. Yeah, I'll take my L on Georgetown plays everyone close.
Yeah.
I still have belief in that Nova spread, though.
Nova's locked into the 6 seed, right? They can't move down because they beat the Hall twice.
Yes, that's correct.
So, yes, and you're looking at what? Nova's going to play Providence and then Xavier, probably?
Providence. I don't know about Xavier.
If they beat Providence, I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, if they beat Providence.
Oh,
but if we could get a Xavier Seton Hall quarterfinal, which would be an interesting game.
Yeah, it would be.
Let's talk about Xavier because they have the Big East Player of the Year.
I'm just not entirely sure I agree with you on that.
Why do you disagree?
I think Bryce Hopkins has been better.
I don't think that's a crazy take. I just look at what Bohm has done for this Xavier team. He's averaging 17, 5, and 4. He's doing it very efficiently. He's been a solid guard defender for that team's perspective. I mean, like he's not going to match up and take your best player out of the game. But I think offensively, what Bohm is able to do, 33 points tonight at AMP. Again, they can totally make things happen. I think the denominator here is that Xavier with Sully Bohm at that point guard spot is such a confident basketball team.
Yeah. And obviously, did Nunji play tonight?
Yeah.
Or Fremantle, I mean?
No.
Okay. So they're obviously waiting for him too.
I wasn't fully watching that game. I don't think.
Yeah, I wasn't either, which is why I asked.
But
he didn't play. Colby Jones had 29.
Yeah, Colby Jones is him.
Yeah, we knew he was going to be a good player for them this year. And honestly, like with Xavier, I think they're right around where you and I probably expected them to be. Like right around the edge
a little
of that
bit better. They're a little bit better.
Yeah, maybe by a seed line from where I had them in the preseason. Maybe,
they're 5 seed. They're 5 seed, maybe a 4 seed.
But they're good. They're well coached. They have a legit.
Sean Miller, by the way, I think I've been pleasantly surprised with how well he's coached this team.
Yeah, I mean he did a good job at Arizona.
He did a good job at Arizona, but like
not the greatest job, but he did a good job.
But I wasn't too sure. I mean, Shaka's the Big East Coach of the Year. Cooley is second. Hurley is third.
I let's just say like I was way more confident in Sean Miller at Xavier than I was at Thad Matta at Butler.
Yeah, but overall, I think Sean Miller at Xavier has done better than I expected him to.
Agreed.
The seventh ranked offense in the country. They play super fast. They're a super confident team. They shoot the hell out of the basketball. I mean, again, I said this. They're a super confident basketball team. They play with liquid. The way they move the ball is awesome.
Yeah, that may feel like a team that just like for the first 2 rounds you watch them and like, oh, these guys play really well. They play together. They got pieces, and then by the time they get to the Sweet 16, they might just not have enough talent eventually.
Well, I think it's going to be the thing that it could be like is, oh wow, this team looks completely unbeatable in the first weekend, and then they just run into a team that's better than them.
Yeah,
and there's no shame in that.
No, I mean this is year 1, and they got some talented kids.
It's year 1 with an older team, though, and Colby Jones probably goes to the NBA.
You have, but like, listen, you have
Desmond Claude.
You have Desmond Claude, who's your future point guard,
and that's about it,
or at least one of your future point guards. They have a kid named Cam Kraft, who I was actually pretty high on. Who's a freshman, didn't get much PT this year, but
I have a feeling he's going to transfer.
It's possible, and they have a kid coming in named Trey Green.
But I think Sean Miller, what he proved this year is that it's what Ed Cooley has proven, that you can come and transfer and succeed at Xavier, and that this is for real. I think Xavier will be a major player in the transfer portal next month.
Yeah, I would imagine the same, and this is obviously like this is a transfer portal destination for that kids look at. Not you look at Nunji and the step he took forward there, and then what Sully Boom's done this year as well.
Yeah, like, why wouldn't you want to go there? A lot of players. Jerome Hunter, even it worked for him. coming from
I
Indiana.
expect a lot of these good Big East teams to be players in the portal, outside of probably Marquette.
Yeah, no, I think Marquette might need to bring in one or two guys to like become national title contenders because I think that's what their logical next step would
And
be.
they also
They've also just kind of hit their 100th percentile this year.
it's not just that either. Like they like only have 8 guys that can play. Like,
Yeah,
and
my thing
obviously,
about Marquette is they've literally hit like their 120th percentile. I don't think anybody, even the most diehard Marquette superfan, would have thought they'd be in the top 10 in KenPom for a lot of January and February.
yeah,
And I think that we can all admit that Marquette overperformed, overachieved, and probably will not be as this good next year.
yeah. This could be a situation where they bring in a really good kid to try to get them to that next level, and everyone's really about them, but they end up being like
The
the
same team.
same or like just as good as they were this
And
year.
there's no issue with that. I just
Not
think,
at all.
and I think that Shaka Smart, and by the way, in the offseason, I called Shaka Smart the most overrated coach in college basketball, I think.
That was probably a miss, but again,
I'm not ready to say that's a miss.
I
Here's
also
why.
like what I was about to say is I just don't trust him yet.
Here's why I'm not ready to say it's a miss. The last time Shaka Smart won an NCAA tournament game, he was coaching at VCU.
Yeah.
His teams missed the NCAA tournament as often as they made it at Texas. He coached 6 years at Texas and made 3 NCAA tournaments.
And when they
was
did
higher
make
than a 5 seed once. And
when
that one time they
lost
lost
to Abilene.
to a 14 seed.
Yeah, the other one that
you can give 2020. They wouldn't have made the tournament in 2020.
No, I think they would have.
I mean, they were terrible.
But they were very much a bubble team.
They were a bubble team, but they were going to come out on the wrong side of the bubble.
I
mean, I know they were getting a little bit hot.
Yeah.
They were going to come out on the wrong side.
They won that game against Oklahoma on a buzzer beater at the end of the year.
And then they lost to Oklahoma State by 22.
Oh, they did. That's right. And that was, correct me if I'm wrong, not a great Oklahoma State team.
No, it was not. And it was an Oklahoma State team that was not going to make the NCAA tournament unless they won like 1 or 2 more games in the Big 12 tournament. They won one. They beat that. That wasn't the terrible Iowa State team. The terrible Iowa State team was the next year.
No, but that Iowa State team was really bad too.
Yeah,
that team lost to Florida A&M at the start of the year.
That's correct. They were bad. They were bad regardless. Let's just say, I don't think Shaka Smart has fully redeemed himself as a postseason basketball coach.
Yeah,
I don't trust him in the postseason. He's won one tournament game since he made the Final Four.
Just looking at last year, without with taking out everything else, you want to put a definition on the word unceremoniously. What Marquette did in the first round last year.
What Marquette did in the first round of the Big East tournament too. They not walloped. They got beat pretty bad.
No, but Creighton just that never felt like Marquette had a chance to win that game.
Yeah, and that was the thing. Like, Marquette was the 4 seed.
Yeah.
And they never had a chance to win. Marquette won 7 games in a row in January last year. Limped to the finish line. Totally limped to the finish line. And went out unceremoniously by 32 to North Carolina.
Do you know anyone last year that picked Marquette to beat North Carolina in the first round?
No.
I don't either.
Which is the definition of unceremoniously.
Yeah. Mizzou is literally right there.
I don't have any trust for this Marquette team to get past the Sweet 16.
I'm thinking second round, honestly.
I'm confident saying, based on the matchup, I'd have them in the Sweet 16 because, again, I know I'm not a Shaka guy, but there's a decent chance he's the best coach in the quad.
this is like
And
I,
like he's been one of the best coaches in college basketball based solely on this season.
yes, based solely on this season, yes.
And I think we can give him his flowers for that.
Yeah. This is going to end up being a team that we mentioned when we do the rules podcast the week of the tournament. This is going to end up being a
We're
team
gonna have to do a lot of podcasts the week of the tournament.
When we do it going over the
Here,
Bible, this is going to be a
for a minute.
team that we mentioned for Rule 10. They're simply a team that was picked very low in the regular season, didn't have much expectations from the media. We don't obviously know how many expectations they had for themselves, but Rule 10 states beware or don't fall in love with teams that would be satisfied with their regular season performance. And Marquette, frankly, is a team that could fall into that trap. It's how it goes. There's a couple teams every year that overachieve. They win a big game. It feels like their Super Bowl, their championship, whatever you want to call it. And Marquette happens to be one of those teams. Kansas State will probably end up being one of those teams as well with the year they've had. Not entirely sure where Sam went, but Missouri trailing by 4 at LSU right now. Northwestern locked in a tie game with Penn State with 1 minute to go. TCU up 7 at Texas. If TCU wins that game, Kansas wins the Big 12 regular season title once again. Just an absolutely phenomenal season for Kansas and Bill Self. He's obviously been mentioned in National Coach of the Year talks. I don't think he should win it, but this is not the Kansas team that's been as good as last year. So praise Kobe Buffkin. He's really come on late. I will say that. But
so what were you going on?
I was just going over some game scores. I talked about how Marquette fits the Rule 10 criteria.
Yeah, I actually want to go over some.
We got to praise Kobe Buffkin comment, which
Kobe Buffkin.
He's good.
He is going to be the reason why Michigan makes the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
All right. You know what I want to do? I want to go over the bracket Bible tonight. I want to give out some conference player awards.
We obviously don't have a bracket yet, so some of these rules we literally cannot talk about.
I know. But I want to talk about I want to go over around the bracket Bible, and I want to hand out some hardware.
Okay.
Take conference tournament week with a grain of salt. This is the number one rule.
This is the most outside of the rules about path and stuff like that. And actually picking the games in the tournament. This is the most important rule.
I absolutely agree, because I think conference tournament week overreactions could be one of the biggest deals in the country. Now, we can't say who it's going to be yet, but who are some teams that you really like at the profile for in their specific conference tournaments, but maybe not so much in the NCAA tournament?
Okay, let's think about this.
Do you want me to start?
You go ahead. I actually was thinking about them.
Xavier is the first one that comes to mind for me. I think they can run a table in the Big East tournament pretty comfortably. I
mean,
I think Xavier is probably going to be my pick to win the Big East tournament. I'm probably between Xavier and UConn.
I'm going to pick Nova or UConn probably.
I am 100% not picking Villanova.
Maybe Creighton.
I just don't think Villanova is going to be able to win 4 games in 4 days. It just doesn't happen.
I mean,
do not mention that team. Do not mention that.
We've seen it before. Like
we saw it. The COVID season doesn't count. Okay.
What do you mean the COVID season?
2021.
Oh, the Georgetown?
Yeah.
There's been numerous examples of that.
I'm not referring to Kemba Walker, okay? Who's turning into Kemba Walker for the freaking Villanova?
Okay, first of all, the Georgetown one was Mickey Mouse because their quarterfinal matchup, the team they played was missing like 3 of their 4 best players.
Exactly, the COVID season doesn't count.
So that's not the example I was referring to, though. There's countless examples. Virginia Tech did it last year.
But look. This
Shawnee, Mizzou's tied.
The Big East this year is what's tied Mizzou?
Shawnee spanked in a turnaround 72-72. 3 minutes to go.
Oh, SEC Network.
Yes. It's
Okay.
Mizzou LSU. What other channel would it be on?
I don't know.
No.
CBS at 3:30 on Conference Championship Week in like 2013 or something. The football game.
Northwestern may lose.
Grand Canyon's going to beat Southern Utah.
Penn State winning at Northwestern would put them into the field, right?
It would put them in my first 4 out.
Okay. I am a little higher on them than you are.
I don't know if I'm low on them or anything. I'm just not confident that the bubble, that the committee is going to be a big fan.
Yeah.
And honestly, I like that team. I think they're really good.
Dude, you know who my answer to? Getting back to the question, NC State for sure.
Yeah, I would agree.
And that's a team that people will watch. And airball. That's Mizzou
people
basketball.
will watch NC State, and people really like NC State for some reason.
Yeah, because they hit the most absurd shots.
Because they have Terquavion Smith, Jarkel.
And like people don't like understand that like
North Carolina State is basically just North Carolina on a smaller budget with better guards.
North Carolina State will probably lose early in the tournament just because like
that's the definition of losing unceremoniously, by the way.
There are come on, Hodge. Boom, let's go, Mizzou.
I am very confident that they go out like 81-67 in the NCAA tournament.
But so like the thing is with them, like North Carolina State's going to be a mismatch on the wrong side for a lot of teams just because there are so many teams that have bigs that can pull DJ Burns out of the lane and he can't guard anybody.
Yeah, exactly. Regardless of that, let's.
It was actually really funny. Come on.
Let's talk about.
Yes.
Let's talk about
real quick before you go on. Last night DJ Burns scored and turned to Lively and like yelled like you can't fucking guard me at him. And Brendan Marks, who covers Duke and UNC for The Athletic, tweeted about it. And the entire comment section was just filled with Duke fans going, "It's too bad he can't guard my grandma."
All right, let's talk about Rule 4. Let's talk about teams with size.
McMahon timeout. Okay. Rule 4. Obviously, like Purdue's not losing in the first round.
Duke is the one that that gets to my head first.
Yeah, but Duke's probably not at a point yet where they're playing a legit mid-major.
Who else is up there?
I will tell you if Duke ended up moving up to a 5 seed and played Oral
I would say Arizona.
Yeah.
UConn without a doubt.
Yeah, UConn's
not just size, but it's unbelievable athleticism. Probably a top 3, top 4.
Yeah, that's like very Florida State like, honestly. With how like because they have size at a lot of different positions too.
Yeah,
like,
it's the point guard.
Their guards are big.
The small forward is 6'6". The shooting guard is 6'4".
Right.
Caravan 6'8". Klingon 7'2".
Yeah, they have a 7'2" kid off the bench.
And Samson Johnson got some minutes today. I don't think he'll be in the NCAA tournament.
And like Diarra is probably their smallest player outside of Calcaterra, but
and Calcaterra is not a point guard.
But like, Diarra is one of those guys.
Calcaterra is decidedly not a point guard.
Diarra is also one of those guys that like mid-major players don't see, like this unbelievable, super athletic and fast defender. So like that would be a problem.
Are there mid-majors with size that you think can avert this rule? To me,
Oral Roberts obviously has Vanover.
I disagree. I don't think they're part of this because Vanover's not fast. Vanover can't guard an athletic big man that's got strength in the pick and roll.
Toledo's bigs aren't big, but they're interesting because they both step out and shoot the ball really well. The team that pops
out to me is Iona.
Yeah.
Because it's not only the fact that they play with
Sean. Turnover.
Because Iona's 34th in the country in effective height. That's with 2 big men playing a lot of minutes. And Osborne Shema is a guy that can space. And yes, it's pronounced Shema. We just learned that a couple weeks ago. There's an interesting story behind that I think I'll tell right
Yeah,
now.
I didn't hear. By the way, I totally forgot to tell you. Now that you bring up Iona, so we at KCOU we do written conference previews every year, and we're starting them a little late. So some of the early ones obviously aren't getting done. But I took two. I took the ACC, and then I took the MAC.
Oh
So
boy.
you will get to judge my MAC knowledge.
Well, I might just
I can almost promise you that everything outside of Iona, you're gonna look at this and you're gonna be just like, yeah, like this is very basic and like
yeah,
like ground stuff.
yeah, like Ryder doesn't shoot a lot of threes. Yeah,
Like
thanks a lot.
I've watched more MAC basketball this year than I did last year for sure. But to speak knowledge,
Quinnipiac has a lot of talented guards. Yeah, like we know.
yeah, I mean this isn't gonna be me talking about
Sienna
what the team
needs
does
Jared
offensively.
Phillips healthy. Thank you.
Rebound.
Fairfield is a bad shooting team. Kind of. Yeah. They have good shooters that aren't
Maybe
shooting.
I'll talk about the Fairfield
Every
theory.
single coach in the MAC that's played Fairfield says they have good shooters that aren't making shots.
I mean, that's
St.
what
Peter's
everyone.
the other way.
That's what
St. Peter's just has bad shooters and they can't make a shot.
that's what people said about Jack White in 2020 when he missed like 35 threes in a row.
No, but TJ started to hit some threes anyway. But my point about Iona is Shema, whose name is Shema. They were flying to Buffalo, and the person at the passport counter, because he's from Rwanda, says, "What's your name?" He says, "Osborne Shema," and Brian, the SID, looks at him like, "What?" And he's like, "How do you say your name?" And he says, "Osborne Shema." And he's like, "Why didn't you say anything?" And then Shema just goes,
Dude, that's
4 years, by the way.
first of all, why did we call him Shima? He has one E in his name.
Sorry, 3 years. 3 years. 3 years at Iona. I don't know.
Second of all, like this is like the fucking Travis Kelce story. We're just like 10 years into his NFL career, he just
Travis
was like,
Kelce.
oh yeah, by the way, it's pronounced Kels. Like, sorry, Travis, we're not fucking calling you Travis Kels.
Well, no, we're calling him Shema.
Yeah, obviously.
Now, regardless of this,
TCU is 7 minutes away from closing out Texas. TCU wins, by the way. Kansas wins the regular season title outright.
don't sell yourself on players. Sell yourself on teams.
Last year, Oscar Tshiebwe, Johnny Davis, Keegan Murray, 3 All-Americans all lose in round 1. And Jabari Smith.
And Oscar Tshiebwe played like an All-American against St. Peter's.
Yeah.
He dominated that game. He had like 30 and 16.
Which proves even further that, like, you think of it as teams, not players.
Who this year are we not selling ourselves on?
Like, Alabama's probably the first one that comes to mind, right?
For me, the first one that comes to mind is Keontae George.
I don't think people are selling themselves on Keontae George, though, are they?
It's for me, I've kind of sold myself on the Baylor backcourt.
Yeah.
I love that backcourt, but I have to keep reminding myself that they're not a championship contender.
Zach Edey, obviously.
Yeah, another one for me would be the Kansas State guys.
Yeah.
Trace
TJD.
Jackson Davis is one of them. Chris Murray.
I think if Penn State gets into the tournament,
I might pick them to win a game because they don't turn it over and they make a ton of shots.
Yeah. If they play a team that's a good rebounding team, though, they're done.
Totally. And that includes mid-majors, by the way.
Yeah. But I think if they
Hunter
get
Dickinson,
if they get
Darius McGee, if they get in,
A. Smith,
obviously. For me, the number one, there's two rules that my 2021 Winthrop pick will always forget. It's this one, Chandler Vaudrin. I watched like 2 games of his. He put up a triple-double in one of them.
Tigers win. Mizzou Tigers.
Yeah, Tigers lose.
So Mizzou gets the road win. They have Ole Miss on Saturday. If
Don't convince yourself that a star player has a good supporting cast around him in the last 2 weeks before Selection Sunday.
That's the Cade Cunningham rule.
Yes. It's also the TJD rule.
Hood Schifino's good.
Hood Schifino's good.
See, my problem.
Everyone else stinks.
My problem with Indiana is I just don't think they're playing through the right guy.
My thing with Indiana is they have 2 good players, Xavier Johnson, who's on the LJ Cryer timeline, and everyone else stinks. Like, really bad. Miller Kopp starts.
Like, I'm sorry, you're never going to sell me on Trey Galloway. You're just not going to do it.
Race Thompson, congratulations.
Race Thompson. So I was told. So I had a friend text me when Race Thompson got hurt, and he said Race Thompson getting hurt for Indiana is like in 2019 when Nick Ward got hurt for Michigan State. They just were better because of it.
Who texted you?
A friend who watches the Big Ten a lot, actually.
That's just way too much Big Ten.
I mean, in 2019 when the league was actually good,
I would say, my God.
Hold on. Tennessee. I want to check something with them. Okay, interesting. So we got a comment about the thoughts on Zakai Ziegler's injury, and as someone who watches every one of this team's games and covers them, he has a negative 9.2 on-off margin split.
Okay, but look at
here's the thing.
Games against good teams.
Here's the thing, though, too. With him being injured, they're going to have to play Vescovi at the point, which just, like, should not work.
Here's my thing. Look at their wins against good teams. Against Maryland, he was their leading scorer. Against Kansas, he scored 14 points, hit 3 threes.
Mm-hmm.
Against USC, another good team, he didn't play that well.
Against Alabama, he had 15 and was the Ken Pom MVP of the game.
Against Texas, he had 22 and 10.
Kamala had like 26 in that game, didn't
27, but who cares? And yes, they just beat Arkansas with him only playing 3 minutes. But in their best games, when Zakai Ziegler plays well, Tennessee plays well. Look at their losses. Look at their loss.
Their losses to good teams.
I mean, yeah, he played well against Arizona. I'll give him that.
Kentucky.
But overall, 8 points, 2 for 9 from 3 against Kentucky. 6 points, 3 for 12 from the field against Kentucky.
Against A&M, he was okay. He was
overall
2 of 11 from 3.
2 of 11 from 3. 6 of 17 from the field with as many turnovers as assists.
Yeah.
Colorado, 4 for 14 from the field. They need him. It's bad. Look, even go back to last year, where Auburn, that road game, he had 13 points, which was a good performance for him. Tennessee, the win against Kentucky, he had 14, and then in the game against Michigan in the NCAA tournament, 8 points, 1 assist.
I have a question for you.
In the loss to Kentucky, when they got blown out 107-79, he had 2 points.
I have a question for you in relation to the SEC.
Yes.
Between Tennessee at Auburn and Kentucky at Arkansas on Saturday, which of those teams will lose?
Tennessee at Auburn.
And Kentucky at Arkansas.
Kentucky will lose at Arkansas.
Okay.
No, they won't. They're not losing 2 in a row.
Okay, so Kentucky wins.
By the way, that's something we need to talk about right now.
Does Tennessee lose at Auburn, though?
Yes.
Okay, so Mizzou gets the 4 seed then.
So, Penn State takes the lead.
Damn.
The next thing we need to discuss, though, is Kentucky. Kentucky loses to Vanderbilt. What does this mean for Kentucky? They're still making the NCAA tournament quite comfortably.
Did you see what Calipari said after the game?
No, I did not. What did he say?
Calipari says he is beat down and tired and will only do one segment of his radio show. Orlando Antigua doing the rest.
Wow.
Kentucky fans
Regardless,
had a field day. Kentucky fans had a field day with that one.
All right. Let's give out some conference awards. Let's start with the best conference in college basketball, the Big 12. Who is the Big 12's player of the year?
Marquise Noel.
I thought there was a chance you were going to say the other point guard in that state.
Dewan.
Yeah,
Didn't score enough.
I would agree with that.
He's very, very good.
My answer, Mike Miles.
Just because of how important he's been?
Yep.
Okay.
Just because of how important he's been to that team. Who is
I mean, literally all
of the year?
Literally, whenever TCU has played bad this year, it's because he didn't play.
Who is the coach of the year? I think this is easy.
Jerome.
Yeah, Jerome. But you know who else I think is the coach of the year?
In that league?
Bill freaking self.
Yeah, Bill. I was going to say Bill. This is the only other answer.
Yeah. Freshman of the year, we know. It's got to be Keontae.
And Grady and Keontae.
No, it's Keontae.
Grady's been arguably Kansas's best player this year on the team that won the league.
Well, I think overall, Keontae's been the best player on this Baylor team. Mm-hmm. But I also think you can argue Grady's been the best player. You could also argue he's been the fourth best player.
Sure.
You can't argue Keontae's been like anything lower than the second best player.
Sure.
Who is the most disappointing player?
Most disappointing player in the conference?
Yeah.
Tyrese Hunter.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
I don't think he's had a bad year, but I thought he was going to be like a top 15 player in college basketball.
Who is the best transfer in the Big 12?
Keontae Johnson, right?
I think I would have to say Keontae Johnson.
Has to be.
I think you could say Grant Sherfield if they were doing better.
Mm-hmm. Fardaws, maybe if he had played a whole year.
Yeah, for sure. But Keontae Johnson is the one that I would have to go with.
I'd agree.
And who is the Big 12's defensive player of the year?
DeJuan Harris.
I want to say Moussa Cisse, but he doesn't play enough. It's DeJuan. And you know how big of a Moussa Cisse fan I am.
I do.
And by the way, Moussa Cisse grew 2 inches in between the seasons.
I think I would give it to DeJuan or McCullough. One of those guys.
Moussa Cisse grew 2 inches in the offseason according to his listed heights.
That's insane.
You gotta love it. Look up Jake Stevens. Like look at his Ken Palm.
Yeah, no, you've showed me this before.
He keeps growing. Next up, let's go to the second best conference in college basketball, the Big East.
SEC.
No, the Big East. We disagree on player of the year.
Yeah, I have Hopkins. You have Sully.
I have Sully Bohm. Who's your number 2 for player of the year?
Probably Sully.
I would say Sanogo.
I was between the two.
I would say Hopkins 3, Tyler Kolek 4.
Okay, that's fair.
And Tyler Kolek is probably going to win the award.
Any Creighton guys on the first team for you?
I'm torn with Jordan Hawkins potentially. I just think the fact that UConn finished 5th, I can't overlook that. and I would have to put. Oh, by the way, UConn can still finish maybe third.
I didn't think they could finish above fifth.
Wait, can they finish fourth? Because we're a game back of Providence. Did Providence like switch?
Yeah, UConn can move to the 4 seed.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And wait, can Providence? No, UConn can move to the 3.
Based on who does Creighton play?
Creighton
Oh,
plays
DePaul.
DePaul, who they're
Yeah.
probably not losing to.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
UConn or
Then I would
Providence plays
probably
DePaul
say
against UConn.
who's been Creighton's best player this year?
Who's been Creighton's best player this year?
My answer is probably Baylor.
Ryan Nembhard.
I feel like it's Baylor Shireman.
No, I think it's Nembhard.
I think you could go in like 4 different ways here. And none of those ways is Arthur Kaluma, who I thought would be a top 30 player in college basketball.
Yeah, I did too.
And I still think he's a stud.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Creighton's first 5 is as good as anybody's in the country.
Is Creighton going to keep all 4 of those guys? None of them are going pro, right?
Kaluma might.
That'd be the only one.
No, wait, Shireman's a senior.
Yeah, I said 4. Shireman we know is gone.
Yeah, it's year 4 though for Shireman, not year 5.
Mitchell Miller's had a good year for them as a freshman though.
Yeah. Coach of the year in the Big East is Shaka.
Yeah, not an argument.
The freshman of the year in the Big East. It's Alex Caravan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking through, and I don't think it's anyone else. Like, if Whitmore had played a full season, it might have been him.
And Klingon doesn't play enough, and he's also just misses a lot of bunnies.
Yeah,
Caravan has played 26 minutes a game.
Yeah,
he's been excellent for UConn all year.
I agree. No argument.
I think Alex Caravan is the Big East freshman of the year. I think we disagree on the Big East transfer of the year as well. I would have to go with Sully Bohm.
Hopkins. It's the same argument.
Who is the Big East defensive player of the year?
KC probably for me.
I want to say Ndefo. I also want to say Ryan Kalkbrenner. And I also want to say Andre Jackson. It's one of those 3 for me. I think I would go with Kalkbrenner.
LSU's post-game final score has 46 likes and 852 comments.
Gotta love Mizzou fans.
Worst fan base in the country. Yes, worse than Auburn.
No, I would definitely say Auburn.
Auburn fans are meaner, but Mizzou fans are more annoying.
Okay, that's fine. Next up, we have to turn on the TCU Texas game because that's coming down to the wire.
That's a good point.
TCU is up by 8.
How much time?
With 2 minutes left. Were there any awards that I missed?
Don't think so.
Let's go to the 3rd best conference in college basketball, the SEC.
Second, but yes.
The player of the year is obviously Darius Miles.
Yes. Brandon Miller. Although I think honest opinion, I think Kobe Brown's the runner-up.
No.
Who would you have as the runner-up?
I mean, Oscar.
I think Kobe's been better.
Just because we expected Oscar to average 20 and 15 doesn't mean he hasn't been the second best player in the conference.
I think Kobe's been better.
I would disagree with that. Kobe Brown is probably a first-teamer.
Easily.
I think Anthony Black could be.
Probably not. I'd go Council before Black.
I feel like Anthony Black's got to be on an all SEC.
He'll be the second team.
Janai Broom is up there.
Taylor will be on the first team easily.
Oh yeah, Wade Taylor. Coach of the year in the SEC is Nate Oates.
Vescovy and Ziegler should also both probably be on the first team.
Coach of the year is Nate Oates.
Dennis Gates.
Oh, wait, yeah, Dennis Gates. Forgot about him.
Nate's had a great year, though.
Honestly, Jerry Stackhouse in the conversation.
Yeah.
Defensive
Honestly,
player of
like,
the year.
yeah, like if they gave it to him over Dennis, I wouldn't be that mad.
Defensive player of the year. It's Janai Broom.
No, Julian Phillips.
Oh, wait, why did I forget he existed?
Julian Phillips should win National Defensive Player of the Year.
I always forget about the players on Tennessee because Tennessee stinks.
Yeah, they're not a good basketball team.
You cover them, so I'm glad you kept me in line there. Who is the freshman of the year?
Honestly, watching every game has only justified it more.
Who is the transfer of the year in the SEC?
Demoy Hodge?
Maybe? Antonio Reeves?
Probably Mark Sears, actually.
Ricky Council.
Oh, yeah. Duh. Hunter for 3. Got it.
He's not going to be the freshman of the year, but he will make an all-rookie team. Riley Kugel has been awesome, and nobody talks about it.
Yeah, no, you've told me.
I like Riley Kugel a lot.
Florida has fallen off a cliff without Castleton.
Yeah, and that's totally fine. I totally expected that to happen. Fourth best conference in college basketball.
Did we got it? We got through everything, right?
The Big Ten. Let's talk Big Ten. Player of the year is Zach Edey.
Yeah, don't overthink that one.
TJD is kind of close.
Not really.
It's not crazy.
7.01 BPR to 4.89 BPR.
I know we're not analyticing. Just like I know we're not becoming.
I don't think it's close. Literally nothing is close.
I mean, he's kind of close. Like he's very clearly second.
Yeah.
Freshman of the year.
Jalen Hood-Schifino.
Jett Howard.
It's fair.
I love JHS, but I think Jet's been more consistent.
It's fair.
For the next position that we need to fill, the Big Ten Coach of the Year. Can we just give it to none of them?
Chris Collins.
Okay, we can give it to Chris Collins.
Matt, I'm fine with Matt Painter too.
I'm also fine just giving it to
even though his team has completely fallen off a cliff.
I kind of just want to give it to nobody.
Give it to Fred Hoiberg.
Ben Johnson. The transfer of the year in the Big Ten is Jameer Young.
Yeah, I don't think that's really debatable.
Terrence Shannon is kind of there. The defensive player of the year in the Big Ten. Who is it?
Can we honestly just give it to Mawot Mag? I feel like it has to go to one of the Rutgers guys.
Cliff.
McConnell, maybe again.
What about? I mean, I would say McConnell or Cliff. Pac-12?
One of the Northwestern guys, maybe.
Pac-12?
Player of the year is Azuolas Tubelis.
Azuolas Tubelis. Yep, absolutely.
My preseason player of the year.
Let's not talk about my preseason player of the year.
Will Richardson, who has not gotten better in the last 3 years, by the way.
The coach of the year?
I'd give it to Mick, probably.
I'd probably say Mick Cronin. I like him a lot. The defensive player of the year is Jalen Clark.
Yeah, not really debatable.
The freshman of the year is Bona?
Wow, I didn't realize how weak the freshmen were in this conference.
I mean, it's probably Adam Bona.
Yeah.
The transfer of the year,
Ramey?
Devin Askew.
Come on. His team was 3-25.
Yeah, and they're like 0-9 without him.
Great. They'd be 0-9 without me too.
Actually, they won all 3 games that they played without him.
So yeah, there goes that award.
He didn't win a single game that he played.
That's incredible. Oh, how do you pronounce his name? The kid from Washington State. He's not a transfer, but he was in the portal.
Oh, Mohamed Gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, nobody really pops off the page.
Let's talk ACC. Are you just looking at Evan Mia? I'm
on KenPom. I'm on Evan Mia.
I'm not even looking at any resources.
I'm on a bunch of different things.
I'm
I want to make sure I have this right.
Oh no, this is not any official awards. We're just kind of doing this to pass time right now.
Okay.
We'll give out official awards later.
All right. So ACC.
ACC Player of the Year.
Flips Player of the Year.
Really?
Yeah.
L. Ellis. Did you see what I tweeted today?
No. I'm probably, but no.
Tristan says something like, "Oh, there's a 6-man race for ACC Player of the Year." My first thought was, where the fuck would Louisville be without L. Ellis?
They wouldn't have a win.
they wouldn't have.
Actually, I take that back. Clemson still would have found a way to lose.
So L. Ellis is my ACC Player of the Year.
Unserious, Matt.
I mean, I don't think it's that crazy. He's been legitimately very, very good, and it's a very weak Player of the Year race.
If we wanted to put baseball stats into this, Louisville has 4 wins and L. Ellis has a 4 WAR.
L. Ellis has a 5 WAR. The rest of the team has negative WAR. The defensive Player of the Year is Derek Lively, if he plays enough.
Yeah.
I mean, Derek Lively would be the best defender in college basketball if he played enough.
Yeah.
God, man,
you just continue to talk me into this Duke run.
The Coach of the Year is Jeff Capel, somehow.
Even though they're not going to get a bye or double bye.
I mean, they were supposed to be bad.
I actually didn't think they were as bad as people said they were going to be.
I did.
I had them 9th or 10th.
The transfer of the year is Tyree Appleby.
Wait. Hold on a second.
Wait, Nigel Pack.
It's not Pete Nance?
I thought UNC was going to run the table.
Dude, I forget who it was. Was it Jim Range Pod that someone on there said that?
What?
That UNC was going to go undefeated?
No
After
chance.
losing double-digit games last year?
Okay, anyway. Appleby or Nigel Pack?
Nigel. I changed my mind.
The freshman of the year is Kyle Filipowski, but Judah Mintz is second.
Yeah.
The Coach of the year is Jeff Capel.
Who do you think is the runner-up?
For Coach of the year?
Yeah. Larinaga, probably.
Brad Brownell.
Yuck.
I mean,
we're giving a coach the Coach of the Year for being 81st in KenPom.
We're giving a Coach of the Year for being 69th, which is the best ranking aside from 1. So yeah.
Pitt's gonna miss the tournament, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
They're.
I just forgot
they're totally last year's Wake Forest.
Yeah. Let's talk about the 5th best conference in college basketball. The 6th best conference in college basketball, the Mountain West.
Okay.
Who is the Player of the Year?
In the Mountain West,
I really don't know. I mean,
Jalen House.
I feel like it's up for grabs.
None of the San Diego State guys have been good enough.
I feel like it's up for grabs. Max Rice could still win it.
I think I'd probably give it to Jalen House.
I would agree there. I think it's Jalen House. The freshman of the year. Can I even name a single player that I know is a freshman in this conference?
Last year, I'm guessing freshman of the year in the conference was Tyson, right?
I don't know. Who is the transfer of the year? It's Morris Udeze.
It probably is. It probably is with him over Trammell.
Who's the coach of the year?
What about Keenan Blackshear?
Who cares? Who is the coach of the year?
Fuck you.
It's not Steve Alford.
No, I'm not giving it to Alford, and it's definitely not your boy Richard Pitino either.
It's not.
It's Tim Miles.
It's Tim Miles, and it's not even close.
Not even remotely close.
The defensive player of the year?
Mensah.
Nathan Mensah. American Conference. The player of the year? Is it
Marcus
Kendrick
Sasser.
Davis or is it Marcus Sasser?
Marcus Sasser.
It's Marcus Sasser. The transfer of the year. Is this cheating?
Kendrick Davis. Yeah, it counts.
Okay. The coach of the year.
I mean, it's got to be Sampson.
It's Kelvin Sampson. The freshman of the year is Jarris Walker.
Jarris Walker, easily.
And the defensive player of the year
might also be Jarris Walker. Yeah.
It's definitely Jarris Walker.
I think Roberts probably has a case.
No, it's Jarris. Jarris is the best defender on that basketball team.
Jarris, yeah.
The West Coast Conference came out
Jarris
with
Walker is what Jarris Walker is what DeAndre Hunter was for Virginia.
The West Coast Conference came out with their official awards today. The player of the year?
It was split between Timmy and Pods.
Who would you give it to?
Probably Timmy.
Cam Shelton.
Damn, wild card there.
It's Timmy. The transfer of the year is Brandon Pajimski. The coach of the year is Randy Bennett. The freshman of the year is Aiden Mahaney.
Yeah, not a single argument for me.
The defensive player of the year?
Logan Johnson?
No, it's that kid from... oh my God. I just wrote the article on this. No, I'm thinking of the Horizon League. Yeah, it's Logan Johnson.
Defensive player of the year goes to Pat Baldwin Jr.
It was going to be a kid from Milwaukee. I forget his name. It's like a kid who has like a 9 block rate. Conference USA. The player of the year is Jelly.
Probably still Jelly.
It could be Tyler Perry. You could talk me.
Yeah, it's definitely not anyone from FAU.
The coach of the year is Dusty May.
Dusty May, without a question.
The transfer of the year.
Eric Gaines?
Probably.
Jamarian Sharp was in the portal, but he didn't transfer.
He's also not better than Eric Gaines.
No. What about
defensive player of the year?
Has to be Jamarian, right?
Jamarian Sharp. You want to go to the A10?
Sure.
Who is the A10 player of the year?
Deron Holmes.
I feel like it's Tyler Burton.
No.
Thing about Deron Holmes is, like, how many games has he played? Oh, he's played every game? What? I could have sworn I've seen like 8 tweets this year that said Deron Holmes out tonight.
Is there a different Deron Holmes?
No, but Deron Holmes is the player of the year. I guess I'm just not watching enough Dayton basketball. The freshman of the year?
Is it Mongolian Mike?
It's not. It's RJ. It's probably RJ Luis.
Who's he on again?
UMass.
Oh, okay.
The transfer of the year?
Probably
Probably either Khalid Moore or Daryl Banks.
I was gonna say Banks.
Could be Khalid Moore. The defensive player of the year is Duron Holmes.
Coach of the year.
Oh no, wait! Transfer of the year could be Day Grant.
That's true. Yeah.
Coach of the year, Keith Urgo.
Yeah.
It's not even a debate. Keith Urgo is the coach of the year. Keith Urgo might be the national coach of the year.
Yeah.
I truly think he might be the national coach of the year. And I know it's not the best day to go out and say that, as they just blew a game that kind of looked like bad coaching. Ivy League, let's talk. Player of the year is Jordan Dingle.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
The coach of the year?
This is kind of where you got to take over, buddy. You know this league way better than I do.
Henderson?
Huh?
I would say Henderson.
Okay.
That's about as far as I'll go.
Okay.
I have not quite finished the conversation. The Sun Belt, the Fun Belt. Player of the year is Tavion Kinsey.
Yeah, that's without question.
The coach of the year is Jay Ladner.
Yeah, I was going to say had to be.
And that's about as far as we'll go.
Okay.
In the Big West, the player of the year is AJ Mitchell.
Yeah.
And the coach of the year is Mike Magpio.
Okay.
And I think Kamaka Hepa is the defensive player of the year. Don't quote me on that.
I will not.
In the WAC. Player of the year is probably Ray Harrison. At Grand Canyon.
Tavion Jones, Southern Utah.
The coach of the year is Mark Madsen.
Okay.
And the defensive player of the year is Aziz Bandogo.
Sure.
The Missouri Valley.
Tucker won it, and he deserved it.
Tucker won. He deserved it. The transfer of the year.
Let's think about this. Who's the transfer of the year?
Is it Corvosier Mercalli?
Probably. Drawing a blank on anyone that would compete with him.
I mean, how did Toby Okani end up playing?
I mean, I haven't heard his name much all year, so.
Whatever happened to Cameron Fens, and why didn't he keep playing more minutes? Because he was really good when UIC played against played in New York. I liked him.
Yeah, I mean that's a great question. They just had a really tough year. If I'm being perfectly,
I mean, he only played 20% of the minutes in conference play, and I saw him play his best games, so maybe that makes sense.
Yeah.
Coach of the year.
Brian Wardle was probably right.
Yeah, Big Sky.
That was the right choice.
Big Sky, the player of the year. Raekwon Battle.
Yeah.
Coach of the year. David Riley. David Riley.
Mm-hmm.
The MAC. 1A.
Player of the year, probably Castaneda, right?
Yeah, definitely Xavier Castaneda. The coach of the year. Honestly, I think I would give it to Mike Lewis.
Okay. That's good with me. They had a great year.
Transfer of the year. I honestly might give to Imani Bates.
They honestly did not end up being they did end up being as bad as I thought they were going to be. The only thing
Imani didn't end up being quite as bad.
There were two other teams in the MAC that ended up being way worse than they should have been.
Imani Bates was really good. Like, just objectively, really good.
Yeah.
On that volume to be to be about average efficiency, have 4 30-point games,
He
multiple
was
double-doubles.
he was good enough to garner national attention at a school that was really, really bad. So
Transfer of the year, congrats, Amani Bates. You're the next Kevin Durant, and you're the best transfer in the MAC.
no, the best next Kevin Durant is the guy that plays at Alabama if he's not in any legal trouble, which he's not, but
he's not in any legal trouble. Maybe he should be, though.
that's probably up to lawmakers and not us.
I mean, Alabama lawmakers aren't the best people to make laws usually. You heard about Jalen Carter, right?
Yeah. I think the charges were misdemeanors.
Yeah, that could be bad.
Yeah.
A-Sun, Darius McGee, SoCon, Jalen.
Shout out Kenny Dye, though.
SoCon, Bothwell or Swanson. Horizon, Antoine Davis. Big South, Drew Pember. Summit, A. Smith. Mac.
Shout out Grant Nelson, though.
Mac, probably Belly. America East. I don't know. CAA is Estrada. Patriot would be
Tucker.
Miak, Joe Bryant, Ohio Valley, Phil Russell?
Probably. He impressed me when they played here.
Southland. I don't know.
Probably DeMarcus Sharp for Northwestern State.
Yeah, he's up there. SWAC. Probably can't name a single player.
Although I will say, I think Jeff Goodman's presenting the award.
I think Jeff Goodman has done more for the SWAC than any player.
No, Northeast literally canceled the season.
NEC, Josh Cohen.
Yeah, but canceled the season.
No, Merrimack. Respect Merrimack. They put up 90 today.
Did all the top seeds win there?
Yes. Wait, no. Yes. Yes, the top
Good. All my champs are still alive.
Yeah, Merrimack won. And the Independence Player of the Year?
I mean, it's not anyone from Hartford.
It's Wesley Carday. I don't know why nobody else picked him up. That dude was a beast as a freshman for Samford last year.
Chicago State
lost to Gonzaga by 40. Let's
correct me if I'm wrong. They have a former Dayton kid, don't they?
Elijah Weaver.
Yes, and USC.
But Wesley Carday is the best player on that team. It could also be Jay Sean Corbett. He's also really good.
Yeah.
Now, Chicago State has dudes. Like they genuinely have dudes.
It was their best year in a while. Not even close.
No, like I'm not kidding. They genuinely have dudes.
Yeah.
They're going to be good one day. Future Missouri Valley team, Chicago State.
Okay. Can we get to the Horizon League first?
We already talked about the Horizon League.
No, can we get Chicago State to the Horizon League first?
Sure. Maybe the Ohio Valley.
I mean, that league needs teams.
Chicago State would win that league.
No, they wouldn't.
They're going to win that league next year.
They would not win the league.
They bring everybody back.
Are they? They're not actually going to the Ohio Valley, right?
No.
Okay. Are they joining any conference?
Probably not.
Why?
Which is gonna.
They're a name program
They're
now.
probably not. Yeah, the name of being known as the worst program in the country.
Hey, they were in the SWAC. They'd get serious consideration for being ranked.
They would genuinely be the best team in the SWAC.
I think I'm just gonna make a burner account and just start like spamming Goodwin and just DMing him and saying hashtag 3-bid swag.
Yeah, we're putting Mississippi Valley State, McNeese, and
Hey, have you seen those announcers from Mississippi Valley State?
yeah, they're sick.
They're awesome.
I love that.
I have a friend in the house here that like makes a point of like watching all the Mississippi Valley State.
Yeah,
games.
we're gonna put Mississippi Valley State, Alabama A&M, and Bethune-Cookman. Under, by the way, under.
Grambling hosts in the first round of the NIT though.
Yep. What do we got
Big game tomorrow, by the way.
in the SWAC?
No, not in the SWAC.
Well, we do have a big game in the SWAC.
Every big game is a big game in the SWAC.
Exactly. And we have 4 or 5 games in the SWAC tomorrow to watch.
But we also have Michigan, Illinois.
Who cares? Oh, wait, no, we do care.
Yeah. Yeah, boy.
I won't be watching, though.
Where are you going to be?
Fairfield. Sorry,
Wait.
or as Rick Pitino would say, Fairfield.
There's a MAC game on a Thursday?
Yes,
oh, they play Thursday, Saturday to end the year.
Yep. I will be doing the double on Saturday, so there will not be a show.
What?
There will sadly not be a show on Saturday. We will make up for it though on Sunday.
Okay. There will be a Marathon to March episode Saturday.
You will be in St. Louis. When will you be back from St. Louis?
I will be coming back after the championship.
So what time will you be back on Sunday?
Championship I think starts at 2:30.
So you'll be back at like 9?
No. Probably like 7.
Really?
No, that seems early. Like 8.
All right. So we'll do a show, couple hours. We'll talk college basketball because we'll have bids that'll be given out by then. We will have to talk.
We will have 4 teams locked into the NCAA tournament.
We will have to talk about the teams locked into the NCAA tournament.
Okay,
That's going to be so fun to do.
Let's 4 when we do the show Sunday night. Who will be the 4 teams that have bids?
OVC. It'll be.
I picked Moorhead to win that one.
I picked UT Martin. Missouri Valley. It'll be Drake.
By the way,
what are the other 2 leagues?
Indiana State Belmont Friday. I think is going to be fascinating.
What are the other 2 leagues?
I believe.
By the way, how many games are you at this year?
Like total?
Yeah.
Ooh, let's think.
13 or like more.
I went to a Northwestern game.
Do you not count this?
No.
I count.
I will likely more than double it in the next 2 weeks. I'm officially, by the way, probably going to Nashville Wednesday through Sunday. I don't actually know if I'm going to the games.
Oh, man, that's 14 games.
I don't know if I'm actually going to the games Wednesday, but Thursday through Sunday I will likely be going.
Still, that's like 12 games.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And then hopefully Greensboro the week after that.
Be able to catch up because then that's another set. That's another 6 games. So that's possibly like 25 games you can get to in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing 7 this weekend, a bunch the week after that, and then hopefully 6 in Greensboro.
Oh man. So what are you at right now? Like 15?
Northwestern game over break.
You went to Duke, right?
No, I canceled my trip. That was the day that the all the flights got like postponed.
You went Allen Fieldhouse twice.
Allen Fieldhouse twice. And then I want to say I've been to like 6, 7 Mizzou games.
Okay, so you're at like 10 games.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be fine. I don't have anything to worry about. Even if you get to 25 games in the next 3 weeks.
How many have you been to?
39.
Dude, I don't even think it's possible for me to get to 39.
Well, if you do...
Let's say I go to every single game in the SEC tournament.
That's
14.
That's 14. And there's 6. If you
20.
go 7,
26 the first weekend. I'm not going to the second weekend of the
But
NCAA
no, like
tournament.
if you were to go to the second weekend, which you can, it's fucking Kansas City.
I can't. I'm flying out to go to Florida that Friday morning.
Why?
Because my family's going for spring break.
That's so dumb.
If Duke makes the Final Four, I will be in Houston.
There are some. I want Duke to make the Final Four.
Are you gonna be in Houston?
Yeah.
I didn't even fucking know that.
I told you that like 3 months ago. I learned this on the first night of the season.
Okay, I knew you were going to Albany, and I knew you were going to MSG. I did not know you were going to Houston.
I'm going for Saturday. I'm not going for Monday.
Okay. Well, Duke will sadly be playing Monday for all the haters. So
if it's a UConn Houston final, though, I might have to stay.
Obviously. Well, is there a singular Final Four? Is there a singular group of 4 teams that would make you cancel your trip to Houston?
Purdue, Auburn.
That's 2 of the teams.
Providence.
Okay, never mind. No, you lost me. You were on a roll. You were halfway there.
Providence and
you were halfway there.
North Carolina.
If it was Purdue, Auburn, UNC, and Kansas, I would literally I would boycott. I would pull a Nick Bosa and not watch.
No.
For completely different reasons, obviously.
Purdue, Providence, because I can't deal with another fucking year of that shit. By the way, who is Ken Palm's luckiest team? Don't look it up.
It was UNC Wilmington for a while.
It's Morehead State.
Morgan State.
Morehead State.
Oh, Morehead State. Well, good for them.
Who is the second luckiest team?
I don't know, but Mizzou has to be getting up there.
Milwaukee, Missouri's 12th. You know who's 17th, though?
Provi.
KU.
That adds up.
You can't play with your food forever. You're going to use that line so
until they lose.
It's such a corny line, too.
What do you want me to say?
They suck! That's what I want you to say.
You want me to say that Jalen Wilson should be on the bench in close games for them?
Yes, I do actually want you to say that.
Okay, great, because I say that like every week.
I would rather you say that than you can't play with your food forever. Who's the unluckiest?
If Jalen Wilson was not on this team and they had like a sophomore year, what MJ Rice is going to be next year, oh, they would be like the national championship favorites.
Here's my question for you. Who is the unluckiest team in the country? I think it's pretty obvious.
Unluckiest?
Yeah, based on what Ken Palm calculates as unlucky.
I mean, it's just like losing close games, isn't it?
Not necessarily. It's more just like your adjusted efficiency margin versus your win-loss total. Come on, man.
Texas Tech?
Ohio State.
Oh, yeah.
55 in Ken Palm.
Wilson,
by the way, they're on a roll.
Jalen Wilson signed a letter of intent to play at Michigan. Are we sure if Jalen Wilson was playing at Michigan this year, they would be on the bubble?
Is Jalen Wilson even better than Jett Howard?
Okay, I think we're taking it a little far. Yeah, you had me at he's not Kansas's best player, but
I mean, I'm pretty confident that he's not a better scorer than Jett Howard.
Chicago State is bottom 50 in luck. They don't need luck. They're number 1 in the country.
Yep, I'm talking about at-large Chicago State.
Tell your kids, folks. At-large Chicago State. Oh, my God.
Fordham Duquesne.
Is Syracuse locked into the 8-9 game of the ACC tournament?
Who cares? I haven't watched a Syracuse game in like 2 weeks.
Dude, Syracuse is in the 8-9 game every single year.
Anyway, my next point. Fordham Duquesne. Winner gets a double bye.
Where's it at?
Rose Thrill.
Interesting.
Fordham 17-2 at home.
What do we have for conference? Oh my God, Ken Palm just crashed. What the hell?
Sucks to be you.
All right, we're back. I was
Have
literally
you,
trying
by the way, have you ever looked at Ken Palm curling?
to- Okay, I clicked on the link once by accident. I'm like, what the hell is this?
That's why I know that Brad Gushu is the
We
number one curler in the world.
we need a woman's basketball Ken Palm.
They have one. Her hoop stats. It's under.
Really? I didn't know that.
Even the rankings are on a paywall.
What? That's
All
absurd.
I know is that UConn is ranked 5th.
Judah Mint's gonna transfer before Sam gets there.
Hold on, give me a second. Let me find a way to block this guy.
Jim Boeheim won't leave until Sam leaves. Yes.
I will transfer.
Come
will
to the
enter-
zoo.
I will enter my name into the transfer portal. I will come. I will sign in a letter of intent to go to Missouri.
There you go.
No, I'd go to Arizona State.
Oh my God. I cannot believe that Northwestern didn't get that rebound.
Mike Bray is done as the head coach of Notre Dame.
At home, right?
Yes. And that's it for today's show.
Good though. Dude, Duke has a chance at the double bye now.
I'll see you tomorrow night. Whoa.
Come on.
At like midnight?
Oh, actually, no. I have stuff going on tomorrow. Tomorrow's probably not good.
Friday night in St. Louis, Jonathan.
Yeah,
will be.
I'll call you once I get back from the tournament.
What time will the games be over?
Last game I want to say starts at
9?
Hold on, let me pull up my email. I want to say the last game starts at 8:30. 8, maybe 8.
Oh man, that's 9.
It could be late show. Hold on. Mike Kern sent me the schedule. Here we go. Schedule of events.
Actually,
Friday, yeah, 8:30 is the last game. It goes 12, 2:30, 6 o'clock.
Oh man, 8:30 Central.
Yep.
There might not be a show on Friday night.
What about Saturday morning? Because the games,
dude, I am out of the house at like 10:30 Eastern time Saturday.
9 a.m. your time show. Okay, fine, we're not doing that.
Are you in? You would have to get up at like 7:30 for that.
I don't sleep. We sleep in May. Unlike you.
Shut up!
Mr. I fell asleep 15 minutes before March.
I'm never going to live that down until next year, right?
No, you're not.
You know what? I'm not sleeping tonight. We're going to take this show all the way to the morning, and we're going to talk, and we're going to do a 10-minute breakdown of every single team in the country.
I hate to break it to you, but I have to go pick Circus up in like 10 minutes.
Tell him to fucking leave himself there. Where the fuck even is he?
He's at the gym, I think.
What a fucking sweat. If he's a real warrior, he'll just walk back.
I'll tell him that. I'm sure he'll be pleased.
I'm pretty sure he hates me now.
He had a meeting tonight, and he was gonna do it in the living room of our house, and I kicked him out of the living room and made him do it in the basement because I was watching college basketball.
Yeah, I'm definitely sure he hates me now. Then
why would he hate you?
I don't know.
We're having a full-on conversation about Jake Circus possibly hating you on this stream.
Because I tweeted that about when he tweeted about the Bengals like it's a big day. Remember that?
Yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah. he did say he wanted to murder you after that. Oh my god! What has happened to Loyola?
Are you watching SportsCenter as well?
Yes, I'm on ESPN too. Wow, that was skilled.
By the way, SportsCenter fell off.
I mean, honestly, like when we were younger, it was really just top 10 plays that did it for me.
No, it was like the fact that you would get like actual highlights and not just them sitting around and talking about.
OG show is quick pitch. Don't even lie.
Nah, the OG show was Highlight Express.
What is Highlight Express?
It was essentially just like a better version of SportsCenter on ESPN News with Zubin Mehenti, where they would just like go through highlights the whole time, and they wouldn't even like sit there and intro them. It was just like them reading over highlights forever. Southern Illinois, Edwardsville. SUI, as I like to call them.
Did they win?
68. The Screaming Eagles of Southern Indiana, who had a great year, 16-16, 54.
Battle of quad 4 Mizzou opponents.
So for Southern Indiana, they'll be back next year, and they still have 3 more years before they can make the NCAA tournament.
Stupidest fucking rule.
You know what they need to do instead?
What?
Every team that's going to transition, they need to tell the NCAA 2 full calendar years in advance before they transition.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's no transition period.
Or we could just like collectively ban Bruce Pearl from the tournament. That would do it.
How would that help? I mean, it would help create better basketball, but how would it help this?
If Bruce Pearl is not allowed in the tournament, they have to let somebody else in.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be Merrimack.
Why not Southern Indiana?
Was that where Bruce Pearl coached?
No.
Didn't he coach at like some D2?
It wasn't Southern Indiana. Let me look at it.
No, I swear it could have been.
Hold on. I'm looking it up.
It was!
Holy fuck, it was!
It was! I was about to say it was. He coached at Southern Indiana.
Great. That works out beautifully then.
God, he
does. Maryland lost. Duke's definitely a 16 now. Maryland and Providence lose. Duke's definitely a 16 now.
All right. So I guess we're not going to do a show until Sunday.
So much for the nightly shows.
We'll do spaces.
Yeah.
I'll hit you with a Twitter spaces while I'm in the car during halftime of the actually no, because I can just hit it with a space while I'm in the car tomorrow. Because you won't be there.
What time will you be going to Fairfield?
It's a 7:00 game. Wait, no, it's a 7:30 game.
So what time will you be leaving?
10.
What? 10?
7:30 game, I'll leave at 10.
Oh, you mean on the way back?
Yeah.
What about before the games?
Why would I want to do that? That's so boring. We already exhausted everything.
I don't think I'm going to have time tomorrow night.
Let me make sure I know it's a 7:30 game. It's a 7:30 game. So that means I will be leaving here at... If it's an hour drive, if it's a 45 minutes to 1 hour drive, that means if I want to get there at 7, I got to leave at 6. So if we do a space at 6, if we fire
my time,
we fire up a Twitter space at 6. That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, that works.
Let's just go over game scores. Everybody won. Everybody lost. See you tomorrow night for some more brackets, bubbles, and bid stealers. Because this show, unlike me, doesn't sleep until May.
Hey, at least you're coming around.